X-Men Apocalypse, directed by Bryan Singer, written by Simon Kinberg, starring Michael Fassbender, James McAvoy, Jennifer Lawrence, Nicholas Hoult, Rose Byrne, and a whole slew of other people. This is the sequel to the very popular and well-received X-Men Days of Future Past. It's promised us a lot from that movie, and does it hold up, Brandon?
No, it doesn't. I was super disappointed with this movie. If anything, this movie was extremely boring. This is probably my main takeaway from it was, not a fun film, pretty boring. We can get into individual action performances and stuff like that, but like right off the bat, I mean, it felt like a chore watching this movie. I got very little like enjoyment as a movie fan or as an X-Men fan out of this. So
It was very frustrating to watch. I would say the first third of the movie is actually fairly good. Not great or anything, but good. Then the second third, just very where it starts to fall apart a bit, and then the final third, it just goes straight to cruise control, straight autopilot. I felt, and nothing new or original to it. The weakest part of this movie is that they introduce characters and don't develop them whatsoever. They just show them, here they are, move along.
yeah, I think that's the biggest failure of this movie is everybody who is writing and making this film, at least the head people who are writing and making this film, just think that we as a fans we're gonna go see a movie and we just know everything. Oh, I assume Jean Grey's gonna do this, and I already know this character from this movie or this comic or something else. And yeah, that's fine, but it doesn't matter because in the context of this film, you're completely right.
Yeah.
Nothing is explained with 90% of our cast. It's just here's Storm. Remember her? She does the lightning thing. Here's Psylocke. She's hot. That's it. That's
Yep.
what I mean by it was boring. Like I felt nothing for any of these characters, Apocalypse included. It almost made me not like Fassbender and McAvoy and Magneto and Professor X. They were like barely serviceable in this film because
Didn't go that far for me, but
I think the rest of it was bad. I mean, like I had, like I said, almost zero enjoyment out of this film. If it wasn't for Quicksilver, I would have fallen asleep an hour and 10 minutes into this movie if that scene didn't wake me up.
well, when are the X-Men films ever fun, really?
Oh, well, I think the first one's got a lot of fun in it. It's got a lot of good jokes. I think the second one, it's a serious turn, but there's a lot of fun with the characters because they were developed. So you can actually have fun in different situations with them. Even the third movie has some decent quips and jokes. First Class, once again, everyone is developed well. So you get to see the characters have interactions and you can have fun with it. And Days of Future Past, that movie was hilarious. They go back to the 70s. Wolverine is great in the movie. This movie didn't have, in my opinion at least, any of those elements. It's just, you're right about cruise control. Bad guy, good guys fight bad guy, go.
Yeah. One of the huge lures of X-Men is the fact that it deals a lot with prejudice. There's a lot of metaphors towards racism, homophobia, Islamophobia, and that's one of the most enjoyable parts about X-Men. That's one of the reasons why people connect to it so much. And here, except for the first third of it, the first third part of the arc for Magneto, none of all of that is gone in this movie. There's none of it, and that's one of the problems I had with the movie. Another problem I had with the movie is Jennifer Lawrence. They just say, we got Jennifer Lawrence, so we're going to write our story to serve this actress. That's wrong. You're supposed to go the other way around. You're supposed to write your characters to serve the story. And they just made the biggest mistake that movies can make, I think.
Yeah, I didn't like her performance at all, but I haven't liked her as Mystique since day one. There were some parts of Days of Future Past I liked her in.
I thought she was.
But that was
Days of
when she
Future
was
Past,
just replaying Rebecca Romaine Stamos with the leg up against the wall. I'm not that flexible. You guys can't see my leg, but you know what I'm doing. So I don't know. I didn't like her in this movie at all. But like I said, I never liked her as Mystique anyway. So finding out that she was going to be like the main focus of this film and have the most lines in the movie, probably by far, it's her and Magneto.
Yeah,
pretty much with the most lines in the movie, and it was just you can't get into the main character. It sucks the rest of it down for you, and it's just hard to get into the story. So, but we got to bring up some positive stuff.
Yeah.
Visual effects, awesome. It's not
Yeah.
like First Class, where I watched it the other night and I was laughing at how bad the special effects were. I was like, oh, this movie was made in 1983? Oh no, it was made in like 2009. Why does it look so bad? This movie did not have that problem. Costumes look pretty good, you know.
Oh, I hated the costumes.
Oh, see, I thought like, Jubilee looks all right. Everyone in the little thing, Professor X in a suit at the end of the movie. They nailed the visual stuff like that. But once again, I don't care about the characters. So, they look cool. But that's all that's the only nerd thing I got out of the movie was, oh, that looks cool.
I hated the costumes. The whole black leather jumpsuit costumes.
Oh, the ending costumes. Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
I hate those costumes. Yeah. I hate them when they first brought them in the first X-Men movie. Why? Because I'm a huge X-Men fan. I've been reading them since I was, 8, 9 years old, something like that, and I loved their costumes. And this is just bland. The only person that they give an actual real costume to is Psylocke, and she looks completely out of place when surrounded by the other three horsemen of Apocalypse, and by Apocalypse himself. They all have a very sort of unified look to them, and then Psylocke just comes out like a sore thumb compared to them. It looks off.
Yeah, like the cosplay.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a second, I should have gotten that phone call that said I'm supposed to wear some flight-looking metal suit armored thing like everybody else was. Yeah, wow,
her cell phone service was down, I guess.
We could be here all night picking this movie apart because it wasn't enjoyable, but we'll wrap it up real quick.
Well, I will say performances-wise.
Go for it. Yeah, let's set up a few things.
For positives, Michael Fassbender was great in it. James McAvoy as well was great in it. And those are two of my favorite working actors today. Michael Fassbender, I thought was robbed of an Academy Award for Best Actor over Leo. Also, James McAvoy, I think, is probably one of the most not the most, but definitely one of the more underrated actors working today. Like you said, the effects were great. Mm-hmm. The fight scenes were okay, but
they were like 50%, which sucks.
I think it's just because we saw a Civil War and we were just so hyped up from that.
BVS had better action scenes too.
I thought it was on par with BVS.
That's not good though. Yeah. To be on par with a 29% Rotten Tomatoes movie.
With the action scenes.
Action scenes, okay, yeah.
In terms of movie, this is definitely above Batman v Superman, but this is definitely below Civil War.
Yeah, this makes Deadpool still the #1 comic book movie of the year, followed by Civil War, if those two aren't completely tied.
I switch them.
Yeah, I just had more fun with Deadpool, and that's why I go to the movies, kids, because I want to have fun. You talk about Oscar robbery. Yeah, you're right. Jacob Tremblay was robbed this year at the Oscars by Leo. Because we could talk about that forever. So, all right, positives and negatives aside, Eric, would you recommend going to see X-Men Apocalypse, or how would you recommend it?
If you're a completist like me, then yes, go see it. And if you are a huge X-Men fan, you will understand the extra credits scene at the end of the credits. I know a lot of people were probably pulling out their phones and Googling what the hell that was that we saw. I know this guy didn't know what it was.
He had to explain it.
I know what it was. Yeah. So it makes me really excited for what's going to happen in the future. I just hope that Bryan Singer isn't working on it.
Yeah, it's a Revenge of the Nerds joke, if you've ever seen that movie before. The hotel, Coral, and then bam. So those of you who know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm pretty much with you on this one. If you're an X-Men fan, go see this movie. If you're a casual movie fan and you have to decide what movie am I going to see this weekend, am I going to see Civil War, or am I going to see, if I'm seeing a big action movie, am I going to spend money on Civil War? If I'm going to spend money on X-Men, go see Civil War again. Do not see Alice in the Looking Glass, because we didn't even bother seeing it either. But X-Men is definitely worth it at the theater if you're a fan. Other than that, if you weren't like a huge fan of the other two movies, just wait for it to come out on Blu-ray and watch it then. So
you'll be disappointed in it, but if you want to be a completist like me, then see it.
Be disappointed at home. It's more fun that way. Anyway, thank you everybody for watching Mass Media Galaxy. I'm Brandon.
I'm Eric.
Remember to follow us on Twitter in the descriptions below. Subscribe to our channel. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Tell us what you think and
comment below.
Thank you for watching, and everybody, to another X-Men movie.
See ya.